Hello, everyone, and welcome to Of Gods and Dragons, an original campaign following on from the Curse of Strahd, run by the Jonin Monkey. So, without further ado, Jonin, please take it away.
Okie doke then. Our story takes place in the continent of Tabason. This continent has had a long history of tension and war. The main source of this conflict are two empires that have slowly formed over time and have been seeking complete domination of the nation. The first to the north is the Arcadian Imperium, a kingdom founded by high elves who strive to emulate the order and purity of the legendary outer plane of the same name, and wish to share it with the world, whether the world asks for it or not, for their own good, you understand. And to the south, there is the Empire of the Endawa. Ruled mostly by humans, this kingdom reached a technological and industrial boom that led them to a new era of prosperity. But of course, prosperity requires resources to keep going, and what better place to get them than other countries? It's not like they can say no, not with our mighty weapons. The only thing preventing these empires from clashing with each other is a group of nations known as the Central Band, which, through courage and determination, managed to keep their independence. To the far east, Dokuud. Dokuud is a nation of gnomes, halflings, and humans, and has often been labelled by the other nations as a country of tricksters and thieves. But in fairness to them, when your nation is mostly desert and you're surrounded by aggressive nations on all sides, including a nation of literal giants, you do what you can to survive. Speaking of which, Tavanasia, the nation of giants, has one very simple international policy. You don't mess with us, we don't mess with you. Everyone so far agrees to that policy, though the occasional hill giant does stumble over the border every once in a while. The largest of them is Digaran, a nation of green fields ruled by a collaboration of elves, dwarves, and humans who managed to band together in the name of freedom oh so long ago. And for the longest time, the last of them was Freehaven, and another collaborative nation. It started as a port town seeking independence, but grew into a proud nation of fighters that still stands against pressure from their Arcadian neighbors and many other external threats. For almost 2 centuries now, this central band of nations has been able to keep a tense but still relatively stable peace. However, something happened to change this balance. Barovia, a land that many people thought was nothing more than a myth, a band of mist on the coast that people seem to disappear into, turned out to have always been there. Ruled by a cruel vampire known as Strahd von Zarovich, it had been sealed away from both time and the world, until a group of brave heroes, known only to the legends as the Silver Stakes, defeated Strahd von Zarovich and released its grip of the Shadowfell. So now, with a new player on the stage of Tabason, but things have started to shift. Nations are both curious and worried. And a year has passed since then. And soon, a new conflict will be born. From here, we slowly zoomed in on Barovia and past all the hills and valleys into its capital city, the nation of Vallaki, which has started to slowly repair itself from all the damage that's been happening so far. And as we zoom through the town, watching cautious people slowly going about their daily business, we look at the Church of Pelor, or as it's known in Barovia, the Morning Lord. And then slowly pan around to the most conspicuously larger church dedicated to Kellenvor just across the road.
Nice.
It a much larger church with the sign of the traditional scales, and inside you see the parishioners hearing from the local priest the tellings of all the tellings and teachings of Kellenvor. The fact that death is not something to be feared, but is a part of life. And it is we follow upwards into a separate meditation chamber, and we see Maldrath, still in his traditional dark cloaks and armor, meditating quietly, just guarded only by his faithful companion, an animated suit of armor, which was referred to as Clankers.
I think at the end of the last session, he got promoted to Brother Clankers.
Of course.
Of course he did.
And
does he still hold all of the church's tithings?
That's a good question.
Instead of passing the ball around, Clankers just walks and looks at you. And he toss it through an eye slot.
I narrow my eyes like a coin slot, baby. It's a deal. Sorry, Tom Waits.
Okay. I mean, as you sit there focusing on the meditations, offering your prayers to Kellenvor, you a vision slowly enters into your mind's eye. A mist slowly surrounding you. And as you step up, in your mind's eye, you step in, take a moment to contemplate your surroundings. And then a figure begins to take shape. The living form of Kellenvor themselves. The giants armored wearing the death mask. And he speaks. My herald, it has been a while.
My lord.
You have done the fabulous work in spreading my message, but the wheels of fate are beginning to turn, and action is required in order to prevent a disaster.
Let me know your will, my lord.
A brief moment as he slowly nods in approval and then goes, head due east. As you leave Barovia and come past the hills, you will encounter a merchant caravan. Follow them to their destination. I wish I could say more, but know this. The threads of fate, the players of destiny, will all be gathered there. And I need you there to witness what will happen, to understand just what we are up against.
Of course, my lord. Are we to join with the caravan, or is this a more covert escapade?
That is up to you. All that matters is that you follow their destination, and you are there to witness the beginnings of what could be the disaster.
I am your will in this land, and I shall obey your commands.
Good. Take care, Maldrath. And with that, the mists, the figure descends from sun. It begins to descend into the mists and out of sight. And then a loud opening of the door snaps you awake. Clankers instantly, as per instructions, draws a sword and goes and holds it in as the door stops in its tracks, doesn't it? And slowly, and you see the side of your poor answer, Iris.
There he is.
He goes, "Oh, right, sorry, master. I forgot you were meditating. I'll come back with your meal later. Sorry.
That's fine, Cyrus. You may enter.
Yeah. Oh, right, thank you. Hi, Clankers.
my
If you could
cat.
put the sword down, that'd be great."
I'm hoping that Clankers will stand down now that he has been granted admittance.
You get everyone nodding, Clanker slowly, as the sword, and Cyrus comes in with a meat stew, which over the past few years you've been slowly eating him how to slowly behave more in a proper society. And since he's no longer strong man so anymore, you've also taught him how to cook things other than bashed up zombies. So for once the food's actually
Well, talent, I'm sure.
How are you? How are you this day?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. The hall also been cleaned, and as per instructions, I don't go anywhere near the parishioners. And how about you? Is there anything else you'd like to add to the agenda today?
No, I may need to take a short journey in a while.
Oh, that's what I'm. Oh, right. I'll go get the horses prepared. Do you want me to come with you, or shall I just take care of the place?
If you could take care of the place, that would be wonderful.
Right, I will do just that. I will keep this meditation hall nice and spotless.
Your service will not go unrewarded.
I love him.
Right. Also, do you want me to? Also, do you want me to look after Clankers, or will you be taking him with you?
I believe Clankers will remain here. You may look after each other.
Alrighty, good. Clankers, as per our instructions, just starts following. Essentially, starts acting like a bodyguard to Cyrus, like watching him. When he goes, "Okay, I'll do just that. Come on, Clankers, we need to do the laundry."
Why does Cyrus suddenly remind me of Clippy?
And so, with that stark contrast to
Would you like me to do laundry now?
I'm trying.
And so,
If you combined the two of them, you'd have the servant Dalek. Do you not require tea?
oh God. And so, with that stark contrast in tone, you saddle up your horse and prepare for and begin to set out for your journey as your god instructed. And it is from there we cut away from Vallaki for the moment. Headed up north, head up far north, but I'll past Barovia, through Dikaran, and over to the Arcadian Imperium, specifically the town of Swa. It is an interesting location. It is late at night, and the town itself is much structured. It's structured like most Arcadian towns, built with exact order. Everything is in exact square blocks, all fitted on a perfect grid in perfect order. And in this night street, calm and quiet, with barely any of the sounds from people being perfectly reasonable about the late hours of the evening and not disturbing anyone, there is a quiet but firm marching, as a high elven man, to be precise, dressed with the purple of Arcadian nobility, walks through the streets flanked by two guards. They walk firmly past each individual house towards a house that kind of stands out. There are burn marks all over the place, odd plants growing in the windows, and plumes of smoke with different accents of colours moving out. A little dash of chaos amongst what is otherwise an incredibly ordered town. The guard and the minister walk up to this door, and they give a firm. There is a pause, and then a little bit of and then a small gnomish figure dressed in magical attire opens the door and pops in and goes, "Hello, interesting time of night for a visit. How can I help?" The guard pops in and goes, "You are standing. You said are standing in the presence of. You're standing in the presence of Minister Callan Lydon. He requests an audience with your apprentice. The trustee is in the house." There was a brief pause from the gnome, and he goes, "Oh no, I'm sorry. My apprentice isn't here right now. In fact, I'm not even here anymore. In fact..." And a dark aura begins to surround him, and his eyes glow with a strange, ominous light. "There is only the Lord of Darkness, and I do not have such an insolent tone for such a weak mortal as you." Sorry. I've just been working on that minor illusion right now. I just couldn't resist it. You should have seen your face. Oh, yeah, sure, it's fine. He's just studying in the library. Come in. They'll make some tea for your guard here. He must be thirsty. And so, this cheerful gnome leads the poor confused guard inside of a kettle, whilst the minister, with an irritable sigh of, walks firmly into the house, walks towards the study with a sense of purpose. He's been here a couple of times before, and with the same amount of respect and courtesy you would expect of an Arcadian minister, goes tap 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 on the study door before just firmly placing the hand on the handle and pushing it open without waiting for a reply. Odin, could you describe who he meets inside the study?
Whoa!
Seated by a table, there's a short figure with slick black hair, a green complexion. Sorry, no, that's a dark orange complexion.
Yeah, it's more tan, sorry.
Around, you see there's a goblin deep in a book.
Hello, Mr. Grick. I hope this evening finds you well.
I thought you found me.
We've
Unless you've changed your name.
He's like, no. He's like, we've I've just been sent to you because I'm told you're very good at tracking people, and we may require your services, especially since it's slightly connected to an old case of yours. His eyes. I've heard that you were the one who took care of the Ivangan a few years back.
The old Redclaw.
Yes. And I believe because of that you exposed him to the new. That was very invaluable to us. It's because of that case we were able to find out about the Black Road, and because of that, he pauses and gets a scroll out with something underneath his robes. We were able to learn more about this guy, this target. He drops the scroll in front of you.
Yeah, eagerly picks it up.
You pick it up and pull it open. It contains a sketch of, it looks like what appears to be a dragonborn wearing some fancy attire, with a small little suit and a dragon on their shoulder. Underneath, there is also a side sketch of two tieflings who appear to be twins, or at the very least, the artist drew them twice. He goes, "This fellow is Azam. He was a merchant that was using the Black Road regularly to cross over the border. And he was also, you know how it is. At first we had just dismissed him as a merchant that was so concerned with lining their own pockets. They just felt that they could do whatever they liked to avoid the border taxes. But then, he says, an interesting development happened. He had been sent on the... Pardon?
You failed again. You underestimated him.
As much as it pains me to say it, he goes, we had sentenced him to at least 20 years in prison, but somehow we got word from one of our most trusted generals in the Imperium that someone had used his name to not only parole him, but absolve him of all charges, without his knowledge or consent. What's more, he eyes and rubs his head, it appears that the person who may have spun him out is apparently a blood relative of the general. So, he's eyes. And apart from having connection to nobility, we've been trying to track his movements to see if we could solve any aspect of this mystery, and it is perplexing. He is a very cunning fellow and has first been eluding all of our conventional methods to spy on him, but on top of that, he seems to be wandering all over. He has gone all over Digaran, dipped into Barovia, dropped into Fiandawa, and even popped over the border. And on top of that, we've been getting rumors that he has been trying to meet with high-ranking officials, governors, noblemen, things like that. He's nice. Your mission is to try and get close to him and figure out just what he is doing. If he is simply just running for the law, then it would be you will have my permission to just put a quick arrow into his head and let the deed be done. But these erratic movements, and with these noble connections, he's somehow piling up. And plus, given his smuggling history, we fear that there must be something bigger going on. He might be trying to set up some kind of new black market, or perhaps trying to set up some kind of new criminal empire. We don't know, but if someone with that many connections did start to make a move into our area, it would be like a poison that slowly seeps into the ground and corrupts us from within. I hope you understand the grave importance of this mission.
I don't know about that. It sounds like it could be a lot of fun.
Oh yes, I imagine it would be fun, especially since as a man, we think we found out a way that you may be able to corner him. See, at this we've been following these patterns, and in order to maintain cover, he's been joining several pilgrimages, having the big festivals, trying to have as many big gatherings as possible. And as it turns out, there is just an important one coming up. The border town of Esprit. It is hosting its Festival of the Dawn, and many merchants from all over join as part of the caravan, along with the citizens to engage in pilgrimages. This is the perfect opportunity for you to sneak in. You could pretend to be a halfling, a gnome, or some horribly disfigured child, and with that, you should be able to sneak in and get close to him, observe out of him, and, well, like I said, follow him and see what you can learn. Perhaps more importantly, if he is a ringleader or if he is working for someone else. For if there is a darker power manipulating all of this, we must have it destroyed and beheaded before it becomes a threat to our kingdom.
I can do that. What did you say his name was again?
Azam. He points to the right in Elvish. I believe in common it would be Azam. He's I think now he's I think goes. Any questions before you set out, or will that be all?
How do you want me to get? How am I getting there?
He said he spotted the gun. You're able to use whatever resources you're liking. I suppose we might be able to spare any gold for the horses. You may be able to charge to expenses at the end of the day, but yes, we prefer. This is a. He struggles to try and find the most politician answer he can think of. You'll understand that this is a covert operation, so we cannot be seen to be officially backing you. But
So I can't take
just
your
in
horse,
case.
then?
No, you cannot take my horse, I'm afraid. I've heard this town has many a variety of rental horses, and that almost tonight. He pulls out one other smaller scroll and hands it to you with a seal. And he goes, should you get, as I have said, secrecy is priority, so Arcadian guards have not been informed of your existence or what you're doing. However, should you get into trouble with the authorities, this letter, consider it a get out of jail free card. This will explain your mission and has my signature attached to it. However, keep in mind, it can only be used once. Once that seal is broken, I will instantly know that it has been unwrapped, and from that point on, I will deny any form of responsibility to you or that letter.
Okay, I'll keep that safe.
Very well. And with that, he steps up, dusts himself off, goes, I bid you good day, Monsieur Greek. May the ordered serenity Arcadia bless you on your journey.
Yeah. You.
No. Au revoir. And with that, he walks out behind him with the one guard desperately, with the one guard who had just sat down to try and have his cup of tea, having to go and hurry behind him very quickly before the door is slammed shut. And with that, there's like a brief moment of silence before Hadvar pops around, answers off, and goes, whew, my goodness, sounds like you're going to be out for a little while longer then.
I would have hoped so.
I goes, well, it's good, buddy. Oh, just keep your wits about you. You're supposed to come back safe, and tell you what, I finally managed to do that Lord of Darkness prank. It went so well. You should have seen them. I can go. He was totally crapping himself. I totally know it.
You have played him quite a bit.
Yeah, I suppose maybe I should pull back before he starts launching official complaints or anything. But
No,
I know he's still. Ooh, yes, excellent. Yes, that's a good point. Maybe I can follow that up somehow. Maybe I should do it from a distance next time. Phantoms. Yes, that's a fun thing. Okay, hey, cheerio, good luck. Here's some money. He throws some traveling money your way and goes, I'm just going to, phantoms. That's a new one to practice. Toodaloo! And with that...
with my teeth.
You test that they all work. You know that Hanvar is a prankster for most of the day, but he does, at the very least, he cares enough about you to give you genuine traveling money.
I'll try to be back soon.
There you go. All right. No. All right, then. Take it. And
Why do I get the feeling this guy's like the one anime master who takes nothing seriously, but he's actually level 20?
Who knows? Who knows? And with that, we can away from this charming, if slightly chaotic scene. And with that, we move back down to Barovia, specifically the busy town streets. There are many areas of Barovia which, whilst life is slowly starting to restore into normal, many areas have become somewhat big tourist spots in Vallaki. And many people will be passing through them trying to observe the situation. And in fact, none has become a big tourist spot than a certain restaurant. This restaurant was, funnily enough, it originally used to be a noble house, but then the property was bought, the front rooms were cleared, and it is now being somewhat of a celebratory restaurant. It has it's a function. It functions as a restaurant and a museum, as a tribute to the Slayer of Strahd von Zarovich, Ward Backbreaker. With the different exhibitions on offer, including the attire of the mysterious Incognito, the enchanted greatsword that lopped off his head, and mysterious artifacts including a mask, a tattered journal, and some other odd knickknacks around the place. And meanwhile, at one of the tables, there are two guests in particular, one of which is new to the place. The other one has actually been here before. And as this young man, as this stern elven gentleman looks around, observing everything that's going on, he goes, yes, this is quite an interesting. Seems to be so far the fanciest place around here. Are there any other places that are? Are there any other places that have this sense of luxury, Keldrin?
I mean, last time I've never actually been in here, but the churches are nice, and there's the Argonvost Halt.
Yeah. They probably go, yes, I don't think the market is going to be the valuable sector of that business. There just doesn't seem to be enough money to throw around, at least not for magical items. Maybe these something gets. Anyway, our service seems to be taken in a while. Right, hold my seat. I'll get and some more. And I'll get word. And he stopped himself elsewhere to have a look at everything that's to try and get in touch with the service and find out what's going on. You kind of left, like yourself for a moment, just sort of. I'm actually a little frustrated because you had been hoping that whilst you hear him showing your new mentor about the place, you'd get the chance to break off, maybe say hi to some people, but so far it's purely been work and you haven't been able to get away and see anyone. And it looks like you're going to be west off again here without so much of a goodbye. But it's at this point, as you're sitting there thinking to yourself, you suddenly hear a familiar voice behind you. Oh my! Aren't you assigned for surprise? You look up and you see someone who. This is the first time you see them in years, and in fact, the last time you saw them, well, they were a vision inside a dream. You see Silent Eki, your old mentor, the Druidian arts, standing above you with her characteristic traveling bag thrown over her shoulder. At that response, she instantly hugs you and goes, "Oh, nice to see you again. Oh my, you seem to have grown a bit." He just continues. He goes, "Oh, there. Oh, I didn't expect to see you traveling around here. What brings you to Barovia of all places?"
There's so much. I forgot that you don't actually. No, because you are. There's so much.
All right, take your time. Take your time. She manages to pull up a chair from one of the other stalls and sit down and goes, "I'm more than willing to listen." And you know what? For fun, just make me a charisma roll for me. Just for fun.
I believe in you, Nick.
-1, confirm. Oh, I made a save instead. It doesn't matter. It's the same roll. 13.
Okay, you managed to tell a mostly coherent story of everything that happened whilst you were in Barovia. I mean, some of it may have been sped up. So, apart from that, you managed to. And so I think he says that a little bit alarmed in places, but she always that calming aura that you've always associated with her still maintains. It goes, oh. And here I thought some of the stories in this building were a bit outlandish, but
They actually from the actual, and then there was a pit with just whites, and you poof, and it was.
And Maldrath tried to use the spiritual weapon as a helicopter.
She places her hand on the.
Still sitting around somewhere. I think Maldrath kept it. We called it clankers. It had our money.
He goes hand and goes, "Oh wow!" And I thought I'd seen it all on my travels. Wow, you certainly grown stronger since her last soul. Wow, the Keldrin last soul. I don't think she would have survived a day with any of that.
Well, I'm very lucky. And now I'm learning goldsmithing with Master Galanodal, who is somewhere. I think he might have gotten lost in the future again.
You look back and you can see you see you suddenly hear a stern voice going, a restaurant meal should take at least 20 minutes to prepare, and it should not be looking like this. I mean, God, the presentation, I'm just saying, presentation is the key to any art form. Cooking is not an exception. See, and as you hear that, Aleki looks towards Kitchen, looks back at you, and he goes, "He is treating you well, isn't he?" That's good. That's all I care about. Otherwise, I might have slipped into the grass knot for him to trip over once a while.
I learn a lot.
That's good. So, your plan is to become a full time then, or?
I've made some things for the other people that were here. I thought maybe I'd have time to drop them off, but I think we might just continue from. But I'll pass by at some point and actually have, when I have my day off.
He's on the goes. I wonder how you plan to get through your day. Her eyes then widen a second and go, "Wait, did you figure out plant warping?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I go, "Oh, that's gonna make things a lot easier." Oh, she looks back. I will have. I'll probably have to be, off myself. But if you're in the, if you ever get the chance, there's some nice town out in. There's a nice town somewhere, Lowbrow it's called. And I'll be heading that direction, and there should be a nice big oak tree in the center there. Can't miss it.
Okay, I'll check. I think I can only do it with trees that I know of. I've never tried. I'll give it a try.
He smiles.
Low
Well, low brown, yeah. He smiles and goes, well, anyway, close enough. It would be nice to see you again, if nothing else, and have a much longer chat. But before I set off, where you plan to head to next?
Well, we were basically just on a little bit of a circuit to see possible markets, and also to get me to sell things, which is kind of nerve-wracking, but I'm sure it'll matter somehow.
Just see, he smiles. Just breathe and believe in yourself, Gildren. You've got this. I mean, after all.
Not much of the other, but anyway, yeah, we're gonna continue on towards Arcadia, I think, because they have more money than this place, which is understandable because it was overrun by undead for millennia.
He goes, yes, this land has suffered much. When I came here, and all the forests, it seems like it feels like it's just recovering from wildfire. So much destruction, weakness, but it's only just growing back.
Druids here were
He smiled.
weird.
I have heard some stories about that. Still, once I've done with my business, I'll definitely have to come back here and see what I can do. But don't worry, Caldrin. You've got this. You can handle anything that comes through. I mean, if you're ever having doubts about yourself, just tell yourself this. Most people in the world haven't faced vampires. You have. And survived. So, that's something you can remember.
I got stuck at most people haven't faced vampires.
It's like again. Oh, it would. Anyway, I'm so glad you're doing well, Caldrin. Take care. Cheerio. And with that, she lugs her traveling sack over her shoulder and begins to walk out.
Wait. I'm gonna dig in my pack and I'm gonna find one of the amber chunks that I still have from the amber golem, like a leftover piece. And it's I've kind of polished it so it's all smooth and rounded and looks like a bit of frozen honey. And it's one of the prettier pieces that I have. And I'm just like, yeah, thank you. I think that's what I wanted to. Just take it.
He looks at it and goes, I'll definitely treasure this. If not nothing else, it's a good. Then having the colour suits me. Farewell. And with that, he sets off through the doors and out. And with each one, and a lot. No, so you sit there feeling a bit more happy and a bit warmer than you were previously. Although, that is kind of interrupting, and he goes then, what do you mean, 10 minutes? How could you need another 10 minutes? And with that, the scene changes again. We zoom out of the walls of in Barovia, and we go above the Lucky and move further along, swishing through the trees, round through the winding beds of the forests, and we're coming onto a cloaked figure as they walk silently through the forest, humming a small tune to themselves. As they do so, they see the trees parting, and he smiles as he finally comes upon his destination. A noble house that is still mainly in the process of being rebuilt, but it's looking a lot better than it once was. Its tall towers slowly now spiral up cleanly. There are small statues of dragons built on the side, and even one of the outer windows seems to be decorated with a small hanging garden. He smiles as he knows the place. This is Argenvostholt, the home of the Knights of the Silver Dragon, which has been recently smartened up and restarted after so many years of being dismantled and nothing more than a legend. The figure walks up, and as he does so, he sees a small young boy with dark hair, slowly working on, slowly tying up horses. And as he sees someone arriving, he comes up to greet them and goes, "Oh, hey, you're back. Have you been in? Have you want to see the commander?" He goes, yes, I will. But honestly, Pietro, there is absolutely no need to be so formal. The young man also goes, "Well, well, sorry. It's a thought of habit. I just want to make a good impression, new people and everything. So, anyway, yeah, just follow me in. I'll let you know." And with that, he kind of scurries off and bursts through the door. The figure smiles to himself as he walks up slowly through the halls, thinking to himself, and just sort of taking in what has changed, what hasn't changed. Several rooms are still under construction, but training seems to have gone fully underway with a new crop of knights, doing squads, practicing drills, and even some, in a small altar, playing to pet Elo on the back. And as he walks up, he stands outside the two double doors leading to the Knight Commander's chamber, basically waiting until Pietro comes in and goes, "Hi, the Knight Commander is ready to see you now." He steps inside and goes, "Yes, it is good to see you, Jean Gaspard."
A year older, hair longer, a lot tireder, but weirdly looking younger. Jean looks up, waves a comment, waves an acknowledgement, and says, and you as well. Good to see nothing terrible has befallen you. Although these days, if it's all the same, just Jean will do."
He smiles. That is perfectly fine. He then throws off his hood, and the figure before you see is a bronze dragonborn, who dusts himself off, gives a small treat to his small pseudo dragon that was hiding underneath his cloak, and he goes, "I perfectly understand. After all, I usually tell people to just call me Azam. Now, to the matters at hand. I'm afraid with most, it's bad news. I've had a couple more refusals, and I passed on your letter to that friend of yours, but well, I regret to inform you that he said he's retired from the adventuring gig and that would rather focus on being a family man. He said ends his apologies in regards, though.
I can scarcely blame him. Still, even in the life he lives now, hopefully, what I sent him will be of some use. Indeed.
I cannot hope that would sweeten the deal, but I don't want you to do. That said, I have had some luck. He leans up over and pulls up and goes, "Tell me, good sir, what do you know of the town of L'Esprit?"
There's a pause, followed by a despairing sigh as he says, "The old home. As I recall, there's a festival coming up. Yes.
Indeed, there is the festival of the festival of the dawn, meant to welcome in the new days of summer. Of course, it was originally a festival dedicated to Pelor, but you know how it is with the Arcadians. They conquer the place, and it then gets reworked, so it's somehow a celebration of their it's the enlightenment, yada yada yada. But
All too well,
point is,
I fear.
he's I was like, well, we're in a bit of luck though. Their in working in that town is a governor. He by the name of Marcel Ban. He is actually open. He's actually open to some of the requests for support for Barovia. After all, whilst he is a governing official and does have a sway of influence, let's just say his loyalties, his ties to home lie more with the town of Lesperit itself rather than Arcadia as a whole. He's actually willing to give us supplies, but there is a bit of a catch. Whilst he is Lesperit born as far as he's concerned, he is also a soldier at heart and mind. So I tried, I gave him my most compassionate arguments, my most charismatic speeches, but he goes on and on about how he's a man of practicalities and doesn't want theatrics, whatever that means. In other words, what he wants is what he calls a practical assessment of the situation. Now, I tried giving him facts and figures, but for some reason he sees all the merchants as charlatans, which I tried not to take personally, but what can I do? And as it turns out, when I mentioned that there was an order of knights that were trying to keep the peace but strained, he asked what kind of man their commander was. I mentioned that I may have slipped in your name, and he suddenly became a lot more interested. Apparently, he had some dealings with your father back in the day, and he's interested to meet you face to face to get an idea of what kind of man the son of Gaspard de Varier turns out to be. And on top of that, like I said, he has a soldier's heart. He respects words from a soldier. In his words, I want to hear from the commander himself what the situation is, not a lackey. I told him that within a week, I will try to see if I can arrange a meeting between the two of you so that you can discuss terms formally.
I take that in. There's wince at the implication of Duke Gaspard's name. And then, slowly, with a sigh, reach beneath my chair, pull out a long mahogany cane, and rise up, supporting myself on it, moving to the window. And just looking at the garden, I say, there used to be a hole here, where this window is. I like to think I've done a good job patching things up in the interim. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, I have a home here. And do you expect me to dig into that wound?
So leans back in his chair, and Silas goes, how shall I best put this? You know, Jean Gaspard, you do have a home here, and I have been around it many times. And the fun thing about merchants is that I get to hear from all society, the high and the low. And of course, whispers have been spreading. They wonder why exactly the great hero Jean, the sidekick to Ward Backbreaker himself, is suddenly stuck behind his desk while he has disappeared. And I have heard so many different stories. I have heard depression, injury, struggles. I have heard also possession. I have also heard the double gunners and the like. But, well, the thing is, I don't give a damn. This is John. You hired me for one very specific reason. So that I can try and get you money and supplies to help rebuild Barovia. And do not get me wrong, I do not resent that job. But I do not resent that job. In fact, it is much better than 20 years imprisonment. But, and I must say this, I cannot be expected to do everything. This is an opportunity for us to actually get supplies and supplies that Barovia needs, and more importantly, alliances. The political climate is shaping, and right now, Barovia is a sitting duck. It is a tiny, small piece of land that could be swallowed up by literally anyone. They make everything Strahd did look like a picnic. His eyes on his back. And yes, you have a home here, but do you know what? You also have knights at your command. They can continue the building. They can continue. They can continue monitoring things. I'm sure they have a standing stone somewhere that they can get in touch with you if something really urgent happens. And at top 5 days, it will take for you to go to that town and then come back. And on top of everything else, I'm sure a squire can come up here and water your plants.
I sigh, turn away from the window, and return. And I don't sit. I just say, "May I ask 2 favors of you, Azam?"
By all means.
One, could you fetch Pietro and tell him that I would like to have a conversation with him over coffee. 2, if I am going to dig up memories of my family, at least heed what I said and call me by my first name, and not that old bastard's namesake.
He smiles. Those things I can easily do, and I understand the old wounds, believe me, but, well, sometimes you have to cauterize the wound before it can heal. He gets up and he goes, right, I'll get Pietro in, and I'll get Pietro in and be waiting for you. It's gonna take us a while to travel there, and I prefer to be in the merchant caravan when it passes by here. After all, there's safety in numbers.
Certainly. I suppose I shall see you soon then. In the meantime,
yeah.
There's one last thing in here I would like to I'd like to square away before I leave.
By all means.
And once he's gone and the door is closed, Sean will look to the side, cross the room with the aid of his cane, and look into a matching pair of display cases. From one, he produces a silver sword in a fine sheath, saying, "Well, Gabriel, I suppose it's high time I give this to you after all. Strap that at my back, and then look upon the second case, and that's for you. seems I'll find it. It seems I'll finally have a. It seems I finally have a reason to put you to the test.
Nice. Okay. And so, as we cruelly fade to black after as John touches a mysterious item, we fade to black, and in the scene, at first there appears to be nothing but darkness. Then screaming, shouting the sounds of steel. It's a sudden chaotic vision. Nothing really makes sense. Just shadows shouting, roaring, the claws, swords, so much chaos, so much is happening, but it just looks bad. Really bad. In the middle of it all, a figure grasps hold of the grabs hold of a staff and raises it high. Light burns, flooding the screen. There is then a vision that burns in. Three strange figures staring down at this person before suddenly a figure awakens, alone in the tiny hut that they created for themselves to pass the night. MVL, could you describe this figure for the audience at home as they slowly wake up?
Well, here we have Lazar, a former Mage Point wizard, who did find themselves unexpectedly in this area, like many of us out of time and place. On arrival, their memory, as it is now, is vague, only remembering trying to save their tutor Marzena in an all-for-nothing exchange, where they called upon the power of 3 death gods in effort to have the power to make a difference. There, in that terrible flash of arcane energy, they found themselves here, as mentioned, out of time and place. Lazar has been travelling between places, visiting libraries and magic schools to learn anything they can. They've been trying to summon all the magical power they can to return to the moment they left off, a place that no one seems to know but he. Lazar is a human with very pale skin. They have long dark hair and a goatee. They're dressed in red robes with a dark red coat, and 3 symbols reside around their necklace, which is a red skull, a black feather, and a skeletal hand holding scales.
As you slowly wake up from a nightmare that you've been having for a while now, again, based on the few memories you seem to have left, you only wake up and acclimatize yourself. You've been sleeping in this tiny hut. You were in between stops, and this seemed like a good spot to the camp. And as you slowly wake up and no, just for fun, is Lazar's morning routine like the long time he takes care of himself, or is it just like quickly puts himself together and flushes out?
It used to be a very tailored experience. However, at the moment it's dust off the mushroom powder and it is use some minor magic to look presentable.
A quick snap of prestidigitation, just something to make it all clean, and fancy. And with a sigh, you replace yourself and step outside. And you know what? For fun, make me intelligence roll.
Okay, I was expecting a survival check to brush my teeth then. I was very worried. Okay, intelligence. Alright. That is a 14.
Alright. As you dispel them, you find yourself in some grassy plains in the middle of the land, the country which people refer to as Digaran. This spot, you were reliably told that if you're looking for work, your chance would come over the hill. You want to believe them, but it could seem like a good lead. And as you slowly walk up the nearby hill to try and get a higher vantage point, you see that for once luck seems to be within your favor. Down below is the valley with a small watering hole, and you can even see in the distance many different horses and carriages are slowly starting to pull up, and you can see that many people are indeed using this as like a brief spot on what appears to be a very long pilgrimage. The evidence seems to gather so that many people come here to worship as part of a pilgrimage to worship Pelor, but there have also been many the other merchants there. Perhaps people who can actually, someone who can provide you work, or at least some information for where you plan to go.
This
As
seems like a prime opportunity to introduce oneself and to show off something Lazar has been working on for a long time.
Oh boy.
Could
as you
Lazar
stumble,
get ahead of the wagon and sort of like just present himself?
okay, as you walk down amongst the wagons, you actually see the prime opportunity.
Yeah.
There is a sign that there is a sign that says guards or protection wanting, now hiring. Crudely made, like someone had just sort of set it up last night and just stuck it in the ground and hoping for the best. And you actually see two figures standing beside it, specifically two tiefling girls who are standing near the sign, just sort of and they seem to be engaged in a small argument. That one of them is started up going, I don't see what the problem is. I mean, like, they're not, puns don't hurt anyone. They're just simple words that rhyme. Anyone can do them. That's the joy of it. The other one with an irritable side goes, yes, that's the problem. They're too simple. They don't require any skill or build up or any kind of the setup or punchline. You just get two words that rhyme, and then that happens. Like there's no, and don't give me a shit. And full well a lot of the reason people do puns is because they make people as they see you proposals are they cut off, and the people instead, as if rehearsed, go, hello, hello, there's that merchant caravans. We are now hiring. I presume you're here for this?
MVL deeply disagrees with what they've said. But Lazar...
to say, are these just myself and Jonan?
Lazar mage hands the sign towards himself, glances over it, and then brings out a highly polished silver engraved gun-like apparatus covered in tubing and glass vials that bubble some kind of arcane liquid. Their hair flows in the wind. Maybe it's a magical effect. Maybe they're just cool. Who knows? Most likely magic. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lazar. And the weapon gleams in arcane energy. And then it explodes into steam uncontrollably. It bursts from his fingertips and falls to the ground. Oh, never mind. Not a gun mage, Lazar regular mage, but still very powerful.
There is a pause. The one that seemed to be pro puns goes, and the other more stern one sighs and goes, very. Anyway,
Could I do a deception check? That was totally a bit.
Go ahead.
It's a 15.
I will make a quick roll for them.
Just out of the scene. Was this your card?
Oh my god!
I've set a good precedence already.
Well, to be fair,
They
natural 20.
Lazar is just
one
slowly picking
looks-
up the bits while he's looking at them as well.
Nobody look at me.
The other figure stares at you with a weariness of seeing people like this so many times before, and they go, "What level spellcaster are you, roughly?"
Oh, I can do many amazing things. In terms of spells, I can blow anything up you want. I am very, very powerful. I can make lightning. I can make fire. I can make a tiny hut to protect people.
She sighs, looks at a partner who just goes, "Hey, lightning's not bad, right?" They go, "I suppose we don't have any magic." "Very well, you're hired. We'll bring you to our boss, and you can discuss rates with him." And with that,
I guess you could
you,
say
you
the
are,
last offer had some zing to it.
and the Stella wants something. Goes, "Oh, sorry, I seem to be having a bad headache today." Anyway,
Oh man, Lazar's on
And-
fire today.
Lazar then takes out
and now it's getting worse.
a crooked wooden staff and then pauses for a moment as he looks at them. Yes, we should start things off better. And he reluctantly puts his hand out to shake their hands. A friend gave me a book of
See-
relationships, and I'm supposed to be nice to people.
Please be a fake hand. Please be a fake hand.
Fucking relationships, I think it is.
the size, the Stella one size and goes, "Yes, that is the regular custom. Name's Ruby." The more cheerful one goes, "Hey, I'm Amber. Pleasure to work with you."
MVL assumes he was just left hanging, and just Lazar slowly puts his hand
Yeah.
back into his pocket.
Oh no, yeah, Amber shook your hand, but in kind of sort of disinterested way, whilst the other one is a bit more. In fact, I'm gonna say, Ruby sort of does a handshake and then just a firm like.
Like cartoon style, like throws him up and down.
No, well, not. Yeah, not. Well, depends on how strong the Tsar is, but it is just kind of like a very vigorous.
Well,
I
it's,
remember Lazar's stats.
yeah, Lazar is not strong in any way. He'll dust himself off and look polite, and then sort of grumble about rates as he's moving off.
Let's see. And with that, the two Tiefling girls lead you deeper into the caravan. And you can see I don't colorful characters, and there's you move deeper into the as you move deeper into the merchant camp, and you can see that people from all walks of life seem to have come here. You see boisterous, muscly fellows. You see a man who seems to be performing some kind of sermon, and you even see the orphan and everyone else trying to sell their wares, and a rather ominous man in a dark cloak entering by horse. You hope that's not going to be. You hope that they're friendly and that you had nothing to do with them.
Just as this is probably a point of interest, there is a massive scales being held by a skeletal hand emblazoned on Maldrath's shield.
Cannonball!
Cool.
Like it is not subtle at all.
Lazar's looking around as if, does anyone else see this?
And as you approach, you see a knight of the squire chatting to a dragonborn in a fancy robe. And both of them, as you're led through the marketplace towards, as you're led through this basic he turns around and goes, "Ah, so this must be the new hire. Very well. My name is Azam. A pleasure to meet you."
Quite right, Lazar, gun, regular mage. Powerful mage, good mage, I do spells. I'm a spell boy, I do spells.
I'm a spell boy. Thank you, Nick. You've just
chuckles
expressed
again.
exactly what I was thinking.
was well, well, it's always good to have a little magic. I mean, it should be a very simple journey. I've just heard some troubling rumors about bandits lately, and whilst my knight is very capable, we can't rely on him to do everything.
Real quick, can you guys all see that dark-robed figure on that horse? Is that real?
Realer than you think, my boy. The knight speaks up. He's sitting on a rock currently. He's weighing the options of going to the carts and then looking at the cane at his side like, I could, but also, ow.
By the way, is Milk seeing none of this because she is focused on the table in front of her and terrified of any customer coming up to her. She's just kind of
and with that, as Alzin goes, yes, it looks like this trip will be a very interesting one. But so for now, let us briefly discuss rates, and then we can get ourselves braced for a very fun trip indeed. And that's where we're going to take a quick break.
All right, don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
So, after taking a few moments to acclimatize yourself to the surroundings and discussing raids, just for fun, Lazar, make me a persuasion roll to try and
Persuasion, yes. Let's do that.
You may have an advantage.
Advantage, you say?
Okay.
I will take it.
No, you may.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Either way, the first roll is high enough. As I'll say that you managed to agree to a very you managed to agree yourself to a very decent rate. There he goes. And I do a total of a day, so 100 got all the day. Will that be good for you?
Lazar's going to do the thing that he's seen people do when they're making a deal. Sort of sit there and go, Even though he really wants the deal, he's still going to pretend like it's something he's really considering. But he doesn't know how to make a deal, so he's just been sitting there going, for about a solid minute, until eventually he just goes, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much. You did have a hard bargain, Mr. Lazar. And turns back towards you and goes, but I'm sure my employer will be very grateful for the charge me for your services on this trip.
Indeed. We take what we can get. Apologies, matter of politeness. Knight Commander Jean de Valier, Order of the Silver Dragon. This is my squire Pietro. Welcome aboard.
Hello.
Pleasure to be here. Lazar, regular mage, or I should say elementalist. Sounds better than regular mage.
Can I insight check Lazar to just get a feel of, like, his outlook and such? Basically,
Sure.
does Jean get the sense that he's serious, or does Jean get what I know, which is that he's a walking panic attack?
Make an insight check, and Lazar can respond with either persuasion or deception, depending on what it's.
Okay, I will go, I guess, persuasion, because he's not being deceptive. Wow, that's a natural one. I'm gonna
I'd say
say
he has talent, but yeah, go ahead.
Lazar didn't clear off all of the mushroom powder on his clothing.
Well, Sean, after what he's seen, does not judge, and every hand is a good hand. And
Okay.
and he'll say, "Oh, whatever you can do." As I say, we take all the help we can get. Feel free to make yourself at home, as much of home as this is at present.
Why, thank you. There is something I would like to do. Well, if this isn't a sign, I don't know what is. Lazar kind of like nervously walks towards Kelimvor.
Okay, so we come up to you, and as you're walking in, you are approaching the scene. And Maldraff, make me a perception check real quick. Okay, you see there are a bunch of people around the place. You try to get a good feel for them, but you notice that there seems to be a red wizard running towards you, and you try to get a feel for them, but then suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, you see that someone had been given a sermon, but then you're completely blindsided as this person suddenly runs up to you, on almost like beating Lazar just by your hair. And he goes, "Oh, I cannot believe my eyes. It's been so long. Maldraff, you remember me, do you not?"
Can I roll something to see if I remember this person?
Sure, make an intelligence check.
Who I have no actual recollection of in real life.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
he looks like a
standard
perfectly sane man.
Which one?
Yes.
Oh dear.
He might. He looks at the robe. That the robes are with the Kelimvor Church. You may have met him once, maybe, possibly. Don't know.
I will just address him as like, forgive me, I see so many people. Perhaps if you told me where we met.
Yes, of course. Oh, it's been a while. My name is Brother Jamay. I work in the Arcadian branch now, but for a while we were once acolytes training together to hear the words of Kelimvor, and then, well, Ralph, I must say, you are an inspiration to us all. I mean, how could someone go from just a lowly human to the herald of Kelimvor himself? It's inspiring, it really is.
Well, thank you. Just doing my part, in service of our Lord.
Indeed, as am I. I am trying to spread the word of these people, but they seem a bit too full of life and indulgence at the moment. They are not aware of death or the necessity of it, I'm afraid.
Well, the trick is not to impose. I found just
Yes,
a calm word and a gentle voice gets you a long, long way.
yes, that is true. That is very wise. I have been trying to contain my passions for some time, but I must confess that they say that I wear my heart on my sleeves. This figure, for the record, you can now you get a look at him. He is a halfling man who he is very outwardly expressive and animated to the point where you can't decide whether or not you want to encourage him for putting this so much effort and passion into his work, or backing away slowly and avoiding eye contact.
Perhaps when my business is concluded here, we can meditate together in the church in Barovia, and perhaps we can shed some enlightenment on your predicament.
Yes, that would be most grand. In fact, tell me, are you on your way to the Esprit as well?
I'm afraid I cannot divulge that information just yet.
Fair enough. But if you are, may I am a key member of the Arista Kelevor there. Please, if you would join me for meditation, I would have. There's so much to discuss, so many teachings. The fact that we may be able to share a half of the Herald himself, it's amazing.
I will if time allows it.
Yes, thank you. Of course. And, yes, I must get back to my duties. Farewell, Rabbi Maldraff. Farewell. I look forward to talking with you again. No, sorry, Rabbi Manners. Herald Maldraff. Herald, praise me. And with that, he walks off in a very flustered and back to his.
Farewell, you strange person.
I miss Maldraff so much.
I think with this hullabaloo and the screamy little halfling, I would definitely have noticed the others here. I won't say anything, but I'm wondering if anybody wants to make awkward eye contact.
Okay, hey, for us and for almost, I think it's about now that you notice that Lazar's been standing there for a while. I don't know whether you would have backed away by now, Lazar.
Lazar's heard everything. He did actually, in the maddening events that transpired, did actually get a lot of information. But it still means that Maldraff is closer to Kelenvor than Lazar himself. Well, they have a good position with Kelenvor, so Lazar's going to give a very, very low bow, probably obnoxiously low. My lord.
Hello, friends. I do not believe we've been introduced.
Oh, quite. I'm Lazar, elemental mage, not regular mage, and well, a fellow servant of Kelenvor. In fact, Kelenvor was one of the 3 death gods my mentor Malzena worshipped. But it is truly an honor to meet one such as yourself, with such a connection to Kelenvor. Anything I can do for you, aim it shall be done.
Just quickly out of character, is this triumvirate been show my own ignorance here? Is that something Maldrath would be aware of? Is it more of a niche thing?
Make me an intelligence religion roll. It with this would be. Oh yeah, you definitely know. The Triumvirates are a trinity of death gods that are said to bring in the balance of death. There is Kelenvor, the Raven Queen, and
Weejas.
I can remember the last one.
Weejas.
That's it. Yes, they also have different purposes. Weejas manages the souls once they pass once they've passed. Kelenvor manages death itself and ensures that it continues and that the undead don't try and pervert that process. And the Raven Queen is the one who controls the passing to make sure that the different souls go to their rightful places. Essentially, they are all part of the process, but they have different philosophies and focuses. In fact, sometimes followers of Weejas kind of ruffle up followers of Kelenvor the wrong way because Ejas is, according to legend, is one of the gods that's more prone to letting souls out back as undead. What Isle of it amuses them. So,
What a prankster.
mm-hmm.
Okay. In that case, Maldrath will address Lazar. My two followers of Kelenvor, such as they are in one day and within the space of 5 minutes. A most unusual day indeed. Thank you for your offer, and if I can help, then I will surely do my best.
Oh, thank you. Yes, your help will be of great assistance.
I'm 100% insight in that.
Lazar has no subtlety, so he just does that.
You know what? I was gonna say advantage, but you know what?
Yeah, it just came across as it did. A deeply hidden agenda.
Maldrath will just sort of keep a facade of friendliness, like, yes, of course. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to. I'm sure you understand.
Quite right, and Lazar dives into the hedge away from him.
What?
I'm assuming from the top of my horse I can still see.
Yeah, I would say so. As he dives straight into the hedge, he just can't. I'll be staring at the horse. I don't think he realizes I still have height advantage.
Hey,
Man.
it saves a spell slot.
Man, Lazar, you're really bad at hedging your bets.
Oh boy.
Hey.
God.
Right.
Just leave whatever the
Now, do I recognize my fellow companions? I'm assuming that I may have some trouble recognizing Jean as he has changed his appearance somewhat.
Make me a perception check while you're mentioning that.
Unless, of course, we've remained in contact during the time. I don't know.
I can practically guarantee that we have, but it's also like, wow, we both said nothing to each other about this.
So, yeah, with your perception check, I'll say that you can see Jean in the distance, and he's surrounded by people, but that can still easily be seen. And a short distance away from you can actually see Keldrin with a stern-looking elf trying to sit elf things. So he seems to be giving intense coaching, like, no, don't keep your head down, keep your eyes straight ahead, try to attract people's attention. That's it, straight. And remember, we've got lots of items, so this is a practice. You have to keep staring at people. Stare.
Oh my! Is he teaching her about the public service voice? Hello, my name is Keldrin.
Not yet,
How
but
may I
he's
help
getting
you
there.
today?
Being as Jean seems to be surrounded and busy, and Keldrin is just by herself, I will trot over and say hello.
I'll add that Lazar is continued to watch Maldrath the entire time. They produce a long instrument which has the magical power of seeing to long distances. Telescope saves a spell slot, and there's just a telescope pointing out of the bush. Watching.
Can I roll a perception check first? I want to know if I see Keldrin.
I'll do
Second,
one better.
I want to know.
I didn't even roll a hide check because they're so bad.
Okay, so you were just going to assume that's a natural fail.
Yes.
Yes, everyone sees the telescope poking out of the bush. Even Keldrin at this point. And in fact, there's only one, I'm going to say there's like one moment where you, following your teaching, are just staring at this telescope, and you just see this dwarf staring at you.
I mean, that's got to be really up close. You're like 30 to 40 foot away. You're like seeing up his nose.
I think for Lazar, it's literally like, wait, is she looking at me? No, she can't be looking at me.
And in the meantime, I'm going to. The site's pretty empty. My passive perception is 16, so I assume I also know that Keldrin's there.
I'll say that you are definitely there at this point.
Okay, I'm going to note Keldrin. Kind of chuckle to myself, and then I look over, and I see a very strange sight in the hedge, and I look at I squint for a moment, frown, and say, Pietro, am I going mad? Or is that a telescope sticking out of the bush?
No, that is a telescope, Commander. John, sorry.
I chuckle at that, and then add, we attract charmed folks, don't we? Right. I pick up my cane, brace myself, and stand and say, I do believe I'm going to haul myself across to that carriage. Look after the horses, Pietro.
I will. Andre and Cesaro are in good hands. And so, as you're walking away, he looks at them, and it's like a brief moment when he looks across the other side of the pond. Grick, could you just make me a stealth roll real quick?
No problem.
Actually good at stealth? Oh my goodness, this is a whole new aspect for the party.
And it's jinxed forever.
Plus 13!
Yeah, Odin that we're talking about.
Yes.
He looks and goes, could have sworn I saw. Oh well, and then just kept he's on. Just to establish, yeah.
Hi, Madras.
Great. So, just to establish, Greg, you are in the city. They can move back out as you choose. But yes, back to the caravan. You observe from a distance and just sort of watching everything that's going on, and you see the interesting company that Azam seems to keep with himself. This night too, and they seem to be very friendly with this deaf god-like figure that's walking up, and they seem to be approaching this dwarven caravan as the elf next to them goes, all right, I'll just stand up straight down. Hello, and welcome to welcome to Jewels of Mystery. We have fine collections here. Collections here. You step as looking at you, Keldrin, as if you'll do kind of verbally nudge you, like say something. Say something.
I collect best workmanship.
I look to the elf and, perfect politeness, say, might we borrow your assistant for a moment?
Oh, hi,
He raises up. He raises an eyebrow. As goes, interesting request, sir. He is. I suppose we aren't officially in market yet. Fine, Keldrin, if you're okay with it, you have 5 minutes break.
Thank you, sir. Old friends, I'll be right back.
I'm just.
If you could sell them something, that would also be great.
I'll look at him. In the time since Curse of Strahd, I've become considerably more businesslike. It's funny what quitting the booze will do for your outward persona, and I say, we will consider it, at least for your time, if nothing else.
He just continues to stare out at the crowd and just kept essentially, now that he thinks that Keldrin's on the break, he essentially switches off and goes back into business mode and just ignores you, basically.
Okay.
Hi, you and Madras, is that there's telescope? I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I just met him.
I look across at the seeing hedge, and I say, charmed people. And then the smile returns, this time less PR and more familiarity, as I say, hello, Keldrin. It's been a while.
What are you all doing here?
I was presented a business opportunity. Apparently, you were too.
I was sent on somewhat of a more, a mission from a higher up, shall we say, which I will discuss with you perhaps when we're in private, away from bosses and bushes with seeing eyes.
There's a line in Game of Thrones. They say the walls have ears, but apparently the shrubbery has eyes.
I'm half expecting one of those, like, hearing dishes to pop out as well.
Lazar's been working on a device to hear from long ranges, but so far it's 2 cups and a string, and it's not going well.
I'll comment. I'm here for a different reason. The gods have a sense of humor, it seems.
Quite, especially given my past experiences so far.
Well,
Be players in this caravan. Are there
it's
vampires in this caravan?
it's worth noting, Maldrath is aware of this because I have to go into Vallaki to get supplies and stuff. But in the time since your last visit to Barovia, some things have changed, Keldrin. John has a ponytail now. The curly mustache has been sent to its grave and has now been replaced with a more, less ostentatious beard. And also, he is limping heavily and using a cane. Also, plate armor. He's a tin can now.
I was going to mention the limp, and Mouse be like, I can do something about that for you if you'd like.
It's been half a year, but if you'd like to give it a try, I would not turn it down.
Don't you have the thing that does restoration all the time?
He actually
Brave?
chuckles at that and says, that is the thing. In my time as commander of the Order of the Silver Dragon, I suppose you might say I neglected certain priorities and refocused on others. Truth is, I thought I wanted to think I had no further need of it, so I laid it to rest. And then I was kneecapped.
I would make a comment about an arrow or something, but I think that's a bit old now.
Yeah.
It was a spear, actually. He straightens and says, "Well, one way or another, I had prepared for this eventuality. I knew I'd see you again one way or another, so I prepared some things. I hear Seth has retired, but I hope the gift I've sent him serves him well regardless. And from my pouch at my hip, I will produce 2 things. I'll get to Maldrath last. For you, Keldrin," he holds out an embossed box that kind of slides open, and contained therein are finely honed, dwarven crafted +1 jeweler's tools.
She kind of looks like she's torn between not daring to touch them and really wanting to touch them.
He just chuckles and says, "They're yours. If I imagine you have need of them, working as you are now."
They're so pretty. Oh, you do the. Oh, oh, one of these. I've always wanted one of these.
and while she's distracted, I turn to Maldrath and I produce. It's like the equivalent. In real life, there are cans of chewing tobacco and and like creams and such, but this one reads on the side, Hackme animated armor polish. And sort of bemused by it himself, Jean says, while I was on my business trip procuring a few things, those tools included, I happened across quite an interesting man. I saw this and I thought of you. And basically, long story short, is whenever we get back to Barovia, it'll add +4 to Clanker's armor class.
Oh, nice.
But in character, Jean will say, I don't know exactly what it'll do, but I did think of you.
I have stuff as well. But just I made these as sort of practice, but also whatever. And I'm going to dig in my pocket, and I'm going to bring out a little package, which is like wrapped in leather, and I'm going to open one side, and like a thing almost falls out, and I catch it, and going to I think this is gonna be Jean first. Okay, so for Jean, it's a little golden sun that has the image of a kite very finely engraved onto its face. It's inlaid with amber around the as the rays, kind of. And this is a 3-time use only item. You can re-roll a save 3 times by using this.
Oh my god, its uses of Indomitable, and I never even took that from Fighter. My heart!
but only 3 times, and after 3 times use, it goes inert, and it's just pretty after that. And then for Maldrath, I find like it's a single earring, and it's a piece of obsidian, a small obsidian bead, and then underneath a piece of amber that I from the Amber Temple, which has perfectly encased a golden bee, and it'll function as a pearl of power.
Holy crap!
And they're all made from stuff that we filched from Strahd and the Amber Temple, and I've been making progress, and I thought the first few things should be, for the people that made sure that I stayed alive to make progress. Anyway, Master Galanodel said that they're fine and they're okay, and here have them.
I take mine. I have a question. Does Keldrin still wear that kite pin on her lapel? Same exact place. That sun clipped onto my cloak, and I say you did a lot more than fine, Keldrin.
Maldrath will look to Keldrin and say, "It's a beautiful gift, and truly reflects the crafter's beautiful soul. I thank you." And then turn to Jean and say, "Such a thoughtful gift, and for my shame, I'm afraid I have nothing for you too. But if you ever find yourself round my neck of the woods, then I'll surely find a way to repay this kindness."
That would defeat.
Keep us alive, so.
It would defeat the purpose of gifts either way. Maldrath and I are in constant company, but Keldrin and I are not. And just with kind of a light shrug, I say, "Oh, it's been long enough. Hug."
Yeah.
And so the two of you have it's not nice warm hug together. And as this is going on, 2 things. 1, Lazar, you're observing these people just sort of casually handing each other magic items from the bush, and you're realizing, God damn, either they're really skilled or they're more loaded than I realized.
Yeah.
Oh god, he's Team Rocket!
And also, meanwhile, Grit, could you make me a perception check real quick? Okay, so looking at the results of this, what would you say Grig's doing right now? Is he just like, is he just trying to act casual? Is he hiding anywhere in particular? Or?
If I haven't already acquired business to be here, then I guess I'd be more hiding.
But fair enough. And I mean, just observing, you're trying to get an eye on some people you can do business with. You can see that Azam does have a lot of people working for him. He did have a brief for hiring sign, but it was that the two tieflings are arguing amongst themselves as to whether or not to put it back. But you try to have a look around. You notice to the I'll say from that angle, it's your right. You see a sort of noble-looking woman with tan skin who just seems to be walking around minding their own business. Clothing, it's not exactly expensive, but seems like elegant enough that they might have some money, or at least be someone that could do a company to stay around. And on the right-hand side, you see on your left-hand side over here, you see another man who's letting his horse drink, and he is not just a noble. He is. You can see that he is very clearly a nobleman's son, and the kind of son who is just like, ha ha, I am great. He just like has absolutely no self-awareness of anything that's going on or anyone's opinion about him. He's just sitting there, bold, confident, and just stroking his horse going, yes, it's just a fabulous day out here, isn't it?
Gaston!
More or less, yes. So, I get that's the you have three options. Do you want to try the Shazam, or do you want to try and follow one of the other figures in order to try and get closer by proxy?
I think I'll go the more direct route, since I saw Azam near enough hiring Lazare there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I'll say with that perception check, yeah, you've been able to see him.
I'll
Alrighty.
make sure to conjure a mage hand and keep it invisible and upon myself for the moment.
Okay. So, you make some small moves behind your back and slowly walk around to the flankers who once again are arguing about sort of stuff. I was like, sure. It can't hurt to have more than merrier, right? I mean, the bandits. First off, we don't know how many bandits there are, and second, we've already hired a maid for 100 gold a day. I still don't know how the prices got that high. So, and now we have a small child. How can we help you?
Quick kind of look behind himself, looking for this small child. I get that. You're hiring people.
Is it? Yes, mainly more as guards folk. Can you fight at all?
Mainly, sort of, but I'm very good at keeping an eye out. I can spot things, many a thing, from far away, and I can find things.
The things well, that's a very kind of you, but we already have someone, and it's at that point that Amber speaks up and then goes, I'll hire him. I don't mind it. It allows me to have breaks for once. Amber, the whole point is we're trying to hire someone else to go. It never hurts to have two people on the same job, like switch out. Then you know what they say: 4 eyes are better than 2. No, that's something. Fine, we can bring you over to Azam, see what he thinks. So with that, they take you over to Azam, who's looking over and goes, I'm guessing this is a Great Things Small Packages affair. And he goes, yeah, he says he might be a good lookout. I see. All right. So looking out's your main skill, is it?
I don't know if I'd call that my main skill, but yeah, I'm good at looking out.
I suppose it'd be good to keep an eye out on the road. So much. He eyes and then go, okay. he goes, it wouldn't be. I get the pay for a lookout would be slightly lower than a guard, especially if. Are you a non-combatant in this case, or?
Oh no! I'm good at avoiding combat. But I can make sure I don't die.
Make me a persuasion roll. With that, I think that that is definitely a very good skill to have. Very well. You are hired for this. Very well. You are hired. Boy. Let's see. He looks around and goes, "I'll tell you what, Amber. You're with me as always. You can keep an eye on the supply cart. It'll be good to have a pair of eyes to make sure no one goes anywhere near that. And well, let's just say my other compatriots that were meant to guard it, well, they'll be free to focus more on the road rather than having to keep their eyes out for it anyway."
Okay, I'll make sure nobody steals from you. Well,
he chuckles. I'm really, really glad to hear it. He looks over, sees what I presume the conversation is first, and goes, Jean, meet up our newest lookout. He places a hand firmly on your shoulder, Greg. He goes, young man, I never actually caught your name.
My name? Yes, I'm Grick.
I will. I'll incline my head to my friends and say, duty calls, and I will approach. Can I make another insight check? Can I tell that this is a goblin and not, in fact, just a small child?
Okay, make me an insight check and, Greg, persuasion or deception. They're all cool.
I guess at this point it would just be persuasion. I'm not trying to hide my appearance or anything.
That charisma
Fair
work,
enough.
goblin boy. Got that charisma.
You can
You
see
have the highest charisma of any goblin I've ever known.
Yeah, you can see that he is a goblin, but he doesn't look like. But other than that, he seems perfectly harmless. In fact, he just seems to be. He just seems to be like many of the squires who've trained in the past. Yeah, just sort of ready to go.
You can just imagine John just saying like, "You are the least hideous goblin I've ever seen."
He doesn't say that. No, he doesn't say that outright, but he's like, don't see many goblins out in the broad daylight. He'll say, well, as I was telling our other hired hand, I say, not looking at the bushes.
Keep it down! I'm spying on Maldrath.
As I was telling our other hired hand, all capable bodies and helping hands are welcome. So, welcome to the team, Greg.
Thank you. So Azam works for you?
Of a sort, you could say. We have an arrangement of debts.
You've got a strange symbol there on your armor.
I incline my head. That reminds me. In the process of rebuilding Argynvostholt, I have got us heraldry, and it is a silver dragon set against the rising sun.
Ooh.
And I'll say, indeed, Order of the Silver Dragon, Barovia branch, Barovia branch, though that implies that there are other branches.
I'd need a charisma check to have any idea what that's about, right? Intelligence, even.
Yeah. I'd say there's intelligence roll. Those are words. They may be the words that you think to yourself. I really should have studied that.
Like a real dragon?
Once upon a time, yes.
Not a red dragon. Silver.
Yes, silver. It is a long story, and should you find yourself curious, either myself or my squire Pietro can fill you in on the rest. Certainly, it wouldn't be the first time I've told the tale.
I look forward to looking out for you.
Well, I shall count on you then. And I incline my head and say, apologies. Azam introduced me by name, but in the interest of politeness, Knight Commander Jean Duvalier. You look after me, and I shall look after you.
Nice to meet you, sir. I'm Brick.
Indeed. Well, I shall see you about. Make yourself at home. In the meantime, I just sort of casually adjust my pin. I imagine there's catching up to do, should time allow. Good day, lad.
Goodbye.
And with that, the day continues for another hour as the horses rest and continue to journey. Before the journey continues anew, and I just move here. The horses carry on jauntily. It's across the grassy plains and dig around past the trees, and you can see as you're end of the day, like arching across, you are slowly coming upon the nearby forests of. You can see in the distance the forest that lead towards the border of the Arcadia. The gap between the mountains that most merchants take on the road. As you're marching along, I would say anybody wants to can make me a perception check.
I'll leave that to the wise people.
I suppose it's kind of my job.
To be fair, Lazar is not doing any of the job he's supposed to be doing, so I won't roll one.
Okay, so everyone seems to be okay. Hey, you guys all looking around. Everything seems to be. Everything seems to be fine. There are a couple of you pick up a couple of merchants on the way, but nothing too major. Everything else though. You guys all know, as you all start out along, and actually, I would also say at this point that as part of the journey, Greg, you are having to share the ride with Lazar, who, if you've been told, is the other hand, as you're keeping the eye out, and Lazar is the technically the guard for the supply train.
Oh, don't worry, Greg. He's a good ally when Bush comes to shove.
Hey.
And as you're casually journeying along, Greg, you notice that as you start heading towards the valley, there you see movement out towards the back, and you see that people are starting to climb the nearby hills.
Lazari,
Hmm?
either there's a mountain climbing competition going on, or I think there's an ambush going on.
What? But, mind, I'm watching. I'm watching. The important man.
Yes, them up there.
Oh, I suppose I should look at this. Thank you, Grog. Yes.
Okay, make me a perception check with advantage because you have the telescope.
All right. Oh, those are
I got
terrible
the advantage.
rolls. Even so,
Okay.
still terrible.
Lazar just got the telescope the wrong way around, so I don't see anything.
I see no
You're
shit.
desperately trying to adjust to the shaking, so there does appear to be something on the hill. Looks kind of like a horse, maybe, but not nothing too harmful, right?
Yeah, so they don't look bad? Question mark.
They look like people on horses. That's about all you can tell.
Oh, is this supposed to be the sort of thing we're supposed to tell people about?
Go ahead and shout out ambush.
Thank you, Groot.
And as the in this, everyone on something he goes, wait, what? And as I'm looks up, and I'll say that John, you also start looking up, and you see these figures, and you suddenly realize with a great realization, it's a road that leads into a valley. This is actually a really good spot to be ambushed if there was a.
I'm just going to call this to the attention of my two old companions and a Pietro, who more or less, as we approach, I just say, right, of course, business as usual. I produce a crossbow from Cesaro's side saddle, toss it his way, and say, "Cover me, boy."
He goes, all right, and you guys begin slowly to prepare. At which point, Marcus, who is riding his own horse, suddenly goes, oh, ambush! Only one way to stop this! Full speed ahead! Yeah, yeah, yeah! And his horse charges straight through, followed by a bunch of panicked merchants who are doing exactly the same thing. And before you know it, they're charging at top speed right through the middle of the valley.
I just mutter under my breath. All blood, no brains.
Just like old times.
And it's with this as you charge after them, desperately trying to get some kind of restraining order. And as you finally manage to get in front of the herd, you see that the creatures all. The figures all start pouring down the valley on horseback, so they're either side of the carriages and closing in a pincer. And it's then you realize, crap, goblin try. As you do that, let's see. You find yourself in quite possibly one massive chaotic situation.
Oh my god, it's a car chase!
You find yourself flanked on all sides as this crazed carnage is to be going on with all of the. You recognize them as goblins and on the backs of wargs and some ogres on giant boars, and they all start lining up. So everyone, roll initiative.
Oh boy!
Fun. This whole thing where Jean now walks with a cane was an excuse for me to rearrange his stats, and now he has 0 dex mod.
But you're going to say it was the ruse.
Okay, so with this initiative, we have Grick, followed by Lazar, followed by followed by Jean, followed by Dem, and then we'll say Maldrath and Eldrin. So, all right, we have our initiative set up. The carriages are charging in full pelts, and all of you are from your various seats and cards trying to fend off charging goblins. So, with that, Grick, you are up.
I want to quickly go to the back of the cart, and as a bonus action, I'm gonna hide.
Okay. Yeah, you are gone. In fact, as Lazar, I was gone. You're like, okay, what's happening? What's happening?
And then I'm going to cast a web on the boar and wolf over this side, I think.
So, you saw. I know that's your hands. As far as everyone else is concerned, a webbing did suddenly appears to the left hand side out of nowhere. And with that, Lazar, you are up.
Where did he go? He was right here! Bad guys. Okay. In game terms, are we moving fast so nothing could go on the floor, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, in which case, Lazar will take out a snakeskin glove from their pack and put it on his hand. I've been wanting to try this. And he holds out his hand outstretched, and a giant magic hand will appear by this bad guy here. I'll cast it. I have 90 feet range, so I will probably cast it here. Oh, no, I take that back. I'll put it to one closer to myself, because I'll probably need to defend myself. I'll put it here.
Okay.
And then... Okay, and I can use it when I've cast it as well. So I will use it to, I guess, punch it.
Okay.
That's a pretty good punch.
That is a firm, solid hit as you punch. Are you punching the warg or the goblin?
I'm gonna go for the warg.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright.
Wow.
Okay. That one punch in pretty much knocks the warg senseless, and in fact, I'm just gonna do something with the goblin. Okay, you manage to punch the warg in the face. It's almost knocked out, and the goblin only just manages to hang on. It's like,
Yes, take that, you punchin'. You keep going, horses. Do your thing. I am gonna run away. And he's gonna also jump in the back and try and duck down, so that he's a harder target.
Greg is
Okay,
just
fair
under a
enough.
cart and completely invisible.
Because Lazar doesn't see Greg, he's probably hiding on Greg.
Okay, with that, it comes to Jean. You are up.
I'm going.
A human I've never seen before.
Okay, so thank you for providing the most Rhapsody of Fire / Glory Hammer background, a medieval car chase, for me to reveal this. I'm going to just strafe to the side, think to myself, quite a time to figure if this works. And for the king, for the land, for the mountains, for the green valleys where dragons fly, for the glory, the power to end the Black Lord, I draw the Emerald Sword. Brother's Keeper, my new blade.
Nice. Okay. Hey, so you charge out, and he's not even kidding. You see, anyone who can see it, is that John actually draws a sword that is coated in emerald, meaning that it does indeed glow like a little blade. As he brings his horse up towards his goblin, and go ahead and make your attack as usual.
I'll go for the warg, yeah.
Okay, roll the damage.
Divine Smite, 23.
Okay, you almost kill, not quite. You leave a massive gash in the creature, which is slowly limping, and this goblin is again gonna try and hold on for dear life, and he succeeds again. It's like looks down at the hideous burning gash alongside the creature's side and goes, ah!
And I'll just mutter to myself. No, actually, I'll mutter to the goblin. May you have a safe landing. Extra attack.
Oh god.
27.
That's a hit. That's a hit, and any damage is academic. You slice the wall completely in half, and the goblins only let it go. Ah! And I'm gonna, I'll do it. Falls straight to the ground and just go. And before being crushed underneath the feet of the other bullet charges past, he takes it.
All right, so that is one spell slot expended for Smite. And as my bonus action, I'm going to cast Branding Smite to give myself extra damage on my next attack.
Alrighty, good to know. Alrighty,
and my
that,
sword is now glowing like a green radiant beacon.
Alrighty, first off, that's one warg and one boar who need to make dexterity checks for the web.
Yeah.
So start with the boar first.
Disadvantage since I was hidden.
Right. In that case, that one definitely fails. And let's check with the warg, which is slightly more dexterous. Alright, what's the DC?
14.
14. Okay, so the other guy just makes it, but they still have to make a dexterity save real quick. And they fail that. So the bad news is this guy, and bad news is to avoid the web. However, he does not avoid the giant boar in front of him that is now stuck in the web, and the two head into a full-on collision, which, let me just roll some damage real quick.
Oh no, high-speed pig crash!
And one more dex save. Oh, that's a fail. So the warg just crashes in here and just goes, bruh, and this goblin is just flying out, and then just, with a sickening thud, lands on the ground in front. And let's see, as these guys continue, I'll make those rolls afterwards. But now, as this charge is going on, out of the corner of your eye, you see the Marcus over here goes, "Oh, tally-ho, this is very exhilarating!" And he charges his horse very dangerously through the two cars narrowly, just goes, aha! And he pulls out what can only be described as a massive mace from his back as he does so. He goes, aha! Hello, goblin old chum! So winning and knocking it out home run style, causing the poor goblin to just go, and collapse in the distance. Leaving the poor warg to just collapse elsewhere. So that's his. Okay, so that they are dead. This warg is now just running around in confusion at this point. And real quickly, okay. Get any further really quickly. You see, they're just gonna move back with Andre and start taking pot shots at. He's gonna start firing at this orc near here, and does a significant amount of damage to him, taking a good chunk off his health. And you also notice, out of Azam's carriage, you notice that somebody noticed that the tieflings are starting taking out crossbows and firing, and this guy over here is going to take a little chunk of damage as well. And 3 of these. Okay. Well, this is kind of bad. So, these 3 down here, they were charging up, trying to get. They were trying to charge along. Unfortunately, as it turns out, Grick's webbing has caused an obstruction, and none of them have the animal handling or the foresight to get out of the way, and it ends up being a massive pile-up. So,
speed bump!
These 3. My God, they're terrible. All except 1 are thrown off their creatures, and this is. Oh my word! So. That goblin's gone. That goblin's gone. This massive pile-up ensues. Then, oh man, the carnage, folks. And so, with that, as they speed away, that just leaves these 3 over here. This guy over here is going to try and let's see. I'll imagine the other goblins have been taking pot shots at them and haven't succeeded. So far, this goblin captain is going to try, and he is going to try and chuck a javelin towards. Let's see. I'll say he's going to try and chuck one at Lazar since he saw the big hand come from that direction. So he'll chuck that. 18. I presume you have cover though because you are ducking.
8. Oh, if I have cover, then it misses. 18 would otherwise be a hit.
Okay, so thankfully you did mention that you were ducking, so that you watch as this javelin flies inches away from your head. And meanwhile, this orc is going to charge over towards you, Maldraff, and is going to try and knock you off your horse.
Cheeky son of a bitch.
Swinging a massive great attack in your direction. And misses! Completely and utterly misses. Alrighty. And with that complete and utter carnage, as you watch the pile up slowly disappear from sight. Let's see. I'm gonna say, yeah, this guy's gonna move up and can try and make a. They're just gonna charge recklessly at you, Jean. They are gonna try and swing at you with a scimitar.
That's fine.
Okay, well the second one has disadvantage just because of goblin attack, so the second one is a miss. The 23 hits, I presume.
Yes.
Alrighty then. They take 6 points of you take 6 points of slashing damage as this guy manages to blindly charge at you and slashes you across the shoulder, managing to get just under your armor to draw blood. And with that, Maldraff, you are up.
Well, being as this guy's made it personal, and he's conveniently right alongside me, give him the old blood spear to the face, hopefully.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll it down.
Let's
yeah,
see.
that will do it. You.
Is he still
This guy
alive?
had already. Nope, he had already taken an arrow shot from Pietro, which you expertly bring out your spear and just drive it past where the spear wound is and deeper into the lung. And then he just falls backwards and dies, leaving a confused wild boar to just kind of charge. Kind of like a dismounted rider in a horse race. It's just running along because everyone else is doing it, so it might as well. And you get 6 temporary hit points as you can feel the life energy of this orc drain out of it and into you.
Cool. And then I will use my movement to bring myself alongside the goblin sort of that's harassing the rear.
Okay. Let's see. Move you up there.
Yeah, if you could bring me sort of in between him and the other carriage.
Ah, yeah,
Brilliant.
good sound. Okay. Alrighty, with that, unless you have any other actions you want to do.
No, you can't do anything else. Other than
Okay.
stare menacingly at him.
This goblin is certainly fearing death. Meanwhile, Keldrin, you are up. Your boss is at the moment just hiding in the back going, okay, just keep the horses moving, we'll be fine.
Okay. I'm gonna grab a necklace from underneath my clothes and pull it out and select a little obsidian bead, and I'm going to overkill this and cast Erupting Earth at 4th level right on these two guys.
Alrighty.
So they make me a dexterity saving throw, and this area stays a difficult terrain after I'm done with it.
Okay, so first the goblin boss, dex save, and this goblin. Right, what's the DC?
16.
Okay, they both fail, and I might as well include their mounts while you're rolling damage.
4d12. Let's go.
Oh god, 30 damage. Okay, so, yeah, everyone fails it. So, 30 damage. Oh god, they just you and the goblin are just sort of staring at each other menacingly. Then suddenly behind you, an eruption of stone and molten lava just evaporate the two guys behind you. They never stood a chance as they go.
I was just imagining the red versus blue bloopers. Church, I am coming to help!
Yes. And then for Mr. Gobbo and Warg that are still running behind, this is going to be difficult terrain.
Good shout, good shout. Okay.
Trip hazard.
Remember that.
That worked great with the
Okay.
web.
Indeed. So, with that, we come back to the top of the round. Grick, you are up. There just seems to be 2 left at the moment.
That coward
Sorry.
Grick. I knew they would run away.
Are you allowing the Unearthed Arcana rogue cunning action to aim? Where you use the bonus action.
It's actually it's in the new book, so it is in the book if you would allow it. Yeah. So bonus action as a
Okay.
cunning action to aim to get advantage.
It's bonus action and your move action. You have to combine.
Yeah,
them.
you can't move.
Then
Okay.
I'll use that to cancel
Yep,
out
I'll allow it.
advantage on the lead orc on the warhog at the front.
Okay.
Who needs a
I
machine
think, yes,
gun turret whenever you just have a Grick?
Okay. Yeah, that 24, that hits, and does that damage, is that included the sneak or not? Because he does not, he's technically near an ally and was not expecting you.
Oh, there's no sneak on that. I didn't think I'd get it.
From what I can tell, he's targeting this guy, but this guy has no one has any clue where Grick
Yeah,
is.
he's hitting this guy, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're hit. Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah, he has no idea where he is, but he's not engaged with an ally technically. So,
Well, when
It is
Okay, we'll say
striking
that-
from ambush.
when
that is true.
when Odin cast the web, he's no longer hidden
Yeah.
technically.
Right, okay.
Ah, right. Okay, that kid Ace will not honestly for that out there. I thought we were targeting the guy on John, but yeah. Okay, you struck the orc nearly. You fire the arrow straight to the head, and you're his breath starts to cut a rat as this arrow slams into his back, and he's now just kind of hobbling, just sitting there like gasping for air alongside on top of his board, not looking quite as confident as he was earlier. Alrighty, and since you used a bonus action, we now go on to Lazar. You are up.
Oh, there you are, Grim. Oh my goodness! If it wasn't for this mage armor, I would have been skewered. You don't skewer a mage.
It's good to be.
Are there any enemies within 60 foot of my hand? Let me double check. No, that's unfortunate. Okay, I will just... So I'll move the hand 60 foot as my bonus action. And then there's one attacking Maldrath. I've got to impress Maldrath to impress Kelenvor. So I will firebolt that one.
Okay. Are you aiming with the goblin or the warg?
I'm going for the goblin.
Okay, that is a firm hit. Roll your damage.
Alright. That is 24 points of fire damage.
Yeah, he's dead. It's an interesting sequence. You have this stare down. You watch behind as the earth erupts. You look back at the goblin who is staring at
It's
you,
gone.
and is then suddenly set on fire and dies.
Ha! Who needs a mage gun when you've got a mage finger?
Seeing my would-be foe just have his face incinerated, I'll look back to where the firebolt came from, see Lazar there with his finger gun, and just give him a very respectful salute.
Thank you, Maldrath, sir! I'll then go to
Alrighty.
duck again and I'll pull the covers over me.
Oh, okay. So with that, Jean, you are up.
Okay. time to try out another thing. I'm going to take my I'm gonna take my holy symbol, having not drawn my shield yet. Mutter a prayer and say, well, think to myself. Let's see if I learned something from Keldrin as well. I'm going to cast Moonbeam.
Okay.
And it's going
Where
to
are you?
it's going to Doctor Who regeneration this guy right behind me.
Okay.
And his
So
ward.
Okay, so you place that symbol there, and it will make con saves in just a moment.
Also, yes, Nick. High five.
The old spell was a classic. Alrighty, so you hold out your hand, the mysterious glyph starts to form across the ground. And this guy and his mount have to make Constitution saving throws. What's the DC we're looking at?
Looking for a DC of 15.
Okay, that guy makes it, but does his mount? No, the mount doesn't, so go ahead and roll the damage for said mount.
That'll be 9 halved to 4.
Okay. That'll this guy down to 4, and let's see. Yeah, that's right. And the warg is take the full 9. Head goblin is going to have to make one dex save real quick. And they've they have so they managed to hold on to the ball as it's blasted up, and then they managed to brace themselves to take the blood of damage. Unfortunately, the warg then bucks up, throws them underneath, and they take. Okay, that pretty much kicked their health as they fall down. And Keldrin, you actually see you see a familiar blast of a moonbeam from behind, and this guy's come from under the wheel of the carriage in front.
Oh god! He's red paint! My god, he's broken in half!
God.
Yeah, because I imagine, we're going to be stopping for a break after this on the trail. Movement action to get to here. Action surge! Time to cut this board down.
Nice.
(26) and 19 on the board.
Okay, yeah, both of those hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I'm gonna do another smite.
Okay.
(33).
Okay, you slam into the giant boar and just there is a terrific gush, and it is now limping hideously. The orc is gonna now have to make a dex save to fall on, and they just about succeed, like gripping on time.
I just brandish my sword at this orc like, your choice.
Okay. And with that, it comes around to their turn. Fortunately, there's no one else on that side, and no one too much in the way, as the reason why you can't control the moonbeam glyph is because it's now stuck on the ground, and you guys all move past it.
Not used to the car chase mechanics.
Yeah, yes, it's a slightly different area effect of this. So, thankfully, there's no one else in this path, even civilians. So it just kind of zip backs all the way and then out of sight. Meanwhile, let's see what we've got here. Okay, actually, this goblin needs to make a dexterity save with their warg in order to see if they avoid the area of rocks and molten lava that is now spread up in front of them. They unfortunately do not. It's just difficult terrain, right? So they are then pushed straight to the back and don't get anywhere near you.
You just leave them
Vendil
behind and they're
desperately-
cursing, and they're shaking their fist and cursing.
They're talking, and meanwhile, from this this dog is now angrily goes and is going to swing its great axe at you,
Oh!
and completely fails as they does like you're just able to easily bat it away with your shield, being the more experienced combatant, and with all of this you see. As all of this happens, you want to go, and then suddenly, holy light begins to envelop her. It goes as it's gonna have to make a dexterity save really quick. Which it somehow succeeds as you suddenly hit everyone behind you. Curses! I failed you, brother Baldraff! As you see that Jame was desperately trying to cast a spell. However, as you then suddenly see suddenly see this noble man charge up, goes da 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 da. Alrighty, let's give this a crack then, shall we? And this is going to be a +2 to his attack.
Did he really do
Wait.
his own sound effects?
He is a very vain person. And yep, that's a hit as he goes, let's take a crack at this. And the last you see of this orc is this guy swinging his mace down onto him and splatting his blades across him.
So his
It
head
is-
is now stuck in his collarbone.
And I'm just gonna do one more roll really quick. Yeah, it would be this. Oh god, that's a fail. Yeah, the goblin that was held up tries to dash and catch up to you, but very quickly his walked up out, and like you said, he's just left there going. The last thing you see, and I'll say Greg definitely sees this with his eyes perception. The last thing you see is the small goblin like shaking his fist before suddenly seeing a much larger orc come up behind him and just goes before. And so, on that tip, the notes, you continue running for a bit until you're absolutely certain no one else is following you. Until, finally, after what feels like a day's worth of running, you're able to come into a nice secluded area in the forest and just slow down the poor, exhausted horses who are all grateful for any water you can either give to them to drink or just chuck at them, given how hot and sweaty they are right now.
Oh, darlings.
And around as you all see up, you even see the woman walks up to you, John, and goes, "Oh, you were pretty good at that blade, if I do say so myself. I should know you, Marcus First Son. Pleasure to meet you, good sir."
He's ridiculous, but I return the handshake. And I say, no slouch yourself. Thank you for your aid on the fray.
No problem at all. It was so much fun. I haven't had a good, exhilarating chance to stretch and exercise myself for some time. Oh man, and all the craziness goes on there.
I think of saying maybe next time don't charge straight in, but I feel like it's going to go over his head, so I just say, yes, it was certainly a foray.
Yes, yes indeed. God, this trip's going to be so much fun. I thought it was just going to be boring fields. He cracks open. Ale?
I smile politely and say, I fear I gave that up quite a while ago. Still, I'll have coffee handy if you want a chaser.
He smiles. Yes, I feel this deserves some kind of celebration. And what's that over there? there is a pause, and you both of you turn around, and all of you see this by now as an old man that stumbles out of the woods, looking tired, haggard, and a bit worried as they go, please, you have to. As he collapses onto the ground. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
We're back!